Hello and welcome to the Heretic Mansion, the Shin Megami Tensei Podcast. I'm John, your host.
I'm Neos, but you guys can call me Ant.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Terry.
I'm Andreas.
Terrence.
Terrence.
God damn it.
We do it at the same time.
Yo, keep this in.
I will.
The caveman's name is Terrence. All right.
And it's fiction.
It's kind of racist of you. Calling him
Fam.
a caveman
Yeah.
just
Fam.
because he's black.
Fam.
Can we just start over?
Yeah, start over.
Okay.
Keep this one in.
Oh,
just put the bloopers at the beginning.
No.
And that's it. All right.
Okay. But anyway, before we get started with the episode, I just want to say this is actually a re-recording because we recorded the episode last night with just me and Terrence, but the sound on their end was messed up. I mean, it's not their fault. It was my fault because I should have done a test recording and I should have seen that. But basically what happens was their volume was really soft and it was almost as loud as the static, so I could try compressing the audio to put us all on the same level, but that also puts the static on the same level, and I didn't want to upload that.
All right.
Dude, that's nothing. We recorded an episode of our own podcast like 5 times in a row.
Oh.
But
That was the
yeah.
worst.
I am sick, so I hope you guys bear with me when I'm talking.
And also, just to be safe, we're having Ant record on his end too, in case something goes wrong on mine.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put my computer to the meme test, but yeah. All right, so today we got a lot of news to cover, I guess.
Yep.
Basically, starting out with the 3 titles that have been revealed on the Nintendo Direct, the Japanese Nintendo Direct or Switch Direct, which showcased Radiant Historia. Everybody should know already. Radiant Historia has been popping up on the official Atlas tube, and yeah, it's been getting a lot of gameplay. Of course, everybody who's into that is obviously paying attention. I might pick up the game myself, maybe. I always wanted to try out Radiant Historia, and I thought the only reason why I didn't get into it on the DS is because I thought it was like a Rune Factory clone, and I was totally wrong because it was RPG. It was
I just bought the game before we started recording this. So,
You just bought it?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds good.
Damn.
Tell me how it is.
It plummeted in price, so I was kind of surprised about that.
How much did
Yeah.
you get it for?
How much do you get it for?
Like $22.
Not bad, not bad.
Oh,
Not bad.
It used to be like 7.
Oh, is it because of out of print?
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
Okay,
reprinted.
that makes sense.
but now I guess no one cares.
Yeah. But yeah, that happened, and then we had the Etrian Mystery Dungeon 2. Everybody knows about that from the previous Atlas stream. Nothing really to it, just miniature gameplay. And also, we got a 30-second clip for Deep Strange Journey, showing off the gameplay for that, which was pretty cool because we didn't actually see gameplay during the presentation. Sorry, not the presentation, but the Atlas stream, like the official Atlas stream.
Right.
But during the Switch presentation, we got to see a Deep Strange Journey, and it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty much the same in a sense, but like the battle effects and everything are I guess graphically improved. The terrain as well. I've seen some notable differences between the original and what's in there. So that's
Wait, is this a Switch game or a 3DS game?
it's a 3DS game. It's a 3DS game. It's a remake, but like I feel like they've improved the assets a little bit.
Just think
Um,
Strange
I-
Journey Record Breaker.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
pretty much. So that's what was shown. I guess. Can't wait to see more Deep Strange Journey gameplay though. And if you guys haven't been following my channel, I did like 2 analysis videos, not analyzing the battle, the gameplay, but just analyzing the Famitsu skins and whatever the new skins we got. So yeah, if you check those out, I might just throw them up in the comment section. So yeah, what do you guys think about what you saw on the Switch trailer? I guess for Atlas related titles.
Wait, what?
Oh well, I don't think has anybody here watched the Japanese Nintendo Direct when it happened.
No, I haven't.
And,
Okay, all right. So you guys probably wouldn't know, but
Oh,
you've got you guys seen the Deep Strange Journey game?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys think of it from just for 30 seconds? What are your thoughts? Looks the
Good.
same or different?
I'm actually surprised that we're going back to Strange Journey. I didn't think we'd ever see it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like Atlas's 7th DS remake at this point. So
Yeah. I think. Well, no, you had. Is it 7th DS?
yeah, because I'm counting like Etrian Odyssey.
Oh yeah. Okay. You're counting Etrian Odyssey. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, that's I was really surprised myself because I always wanted to see Strange Journey fully voice acted. So this is like a dream come true for me because I really liked Strange Journey and the characters.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be a great experience for me. I know for a fact.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're keeping the old
Yeah.
battle system because that's one of the
Yeah.
things I like about Strange Journey.
Yeah,
I mean, I do like
Demon
the,
Co-op especially is probably one of the unique things that come
Yeah.
out from Strange Journey. And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, add in the press turn system." Like, no.
I mean, I like the
No.
press turn system, but I mean, I also like just good old turn-based combat
yeah,
every
Yeah.
now
it's
and then.
like Strange Journey is fine, like the way it is.
It's
in my
like classic,
opinion.
like those
Um,
classic Western RPGs from the '90s. That's what.
Mhm.
Morrowind.
more like Icewind Dale and Daggerfall.
Mm,
Okay.
all right. So,
Hashtag brush up on your Elder Scrolls, Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence.
So yeah, what? Anybody else have anything to say about Deep Strange Journey? No. Yes.
Nah, not
Still
really.
skeptical.
Skeptical. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
More difficulty up.
I hope they change
Difficulty.
Eridanus.
Then they might
They-
keep
I
it the
don't-
same.
I don't
It
think they
depends. It might be the same
mean,
or different.
I mean, I kind of hope they don't because because they're remaking the game, but I kind of hope they do because fuck Eridanus.
Yeah, but Arena is like, my opinion. My second playthrough, it wasn't too hard because I don't know. I just
in your Video Game Plus, right?
no. This was like a completely new save file because I've lost my when I completed the game. I lost my New Game Plus file. So when I did it the second time around, it wasn't that, in my opinion, because I knew what I was getting myself into and I knew what mistakes I made on my first run. Because I know for a fact, whenever you're playing Strange Journey, you got to desummon your demons to rank up yourself. And it could either fuck you over sometimes because RNG can just come into play, and then you'll get an unfair battle moment, and then you might have to start from whatever level you saved at.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, as soon as like, if you're mentally prepared for the dungeon, then you should be fine. But like if you're like John and you're not really, like, you're uneasy or you forget some concepts, then you're probably gonna have a bad time. But like those, like, I know for newcomers, Hernandez might be I guess Mimi in a sense. But for people who've played Etrian Odyssey, they'll feel right at home with Deep Strange Journey because it has a lot of the elements that Etrian Odyssey has. With the exception you can't draw your maps. It's automapped.
Rip.
Yeah. So I don't know. Terrence, you got anything to say?
No, no more.
Oh, all right. Okay, I guess we can move on to the next topic. Um, this one has to do with the Allocates trailer that came out for Persona 5.
It's basically
Basically.
highlighting the high review scores they got from the gaming media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Persona 5 is
Well-
getting crazy high reviews. It's got like a 94 on Metacritic.
Yeah, well, I'm happy for Persona 5's success. It really just comes down to the whole, what's Atlas gonna do from here on out, and how is the fan base going to, I guess,
Persona
evolve
5
in a
Crimson
sense.
on Vita 2.
Please no.
That's where we go
No.
from here.
Implying we'll get a Vita 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rather them, if they're gonna like add in some extra stuff, I rather them put it in as DLC, if anything, because
Yeah.
like instead of having to buy like a whole new game just for like a 2 or 3 new endings, they can easily put that in as DLC
Right.
and get it over with if they wanted to do so.
Or if they want to make like a female route, for instance, full
Yeah.
P3P.
Yeah.
But it's good that Persona 5 is getting so much is finally getting so much mainstream success.
mhm.
Like, this is getting a
It-
ton of new people into the franchise.
Yeah, a lot of people who are just like normal gamers that
Normies.
are into like Western games. I don't know what I can name on top of my head. That's
The Mass Effect / Skyrim crowd.
yeah.
Call of Duty.
It's not a bad thing in general, but it does pretty much bring up the question whether if people who are getting into Persona 5 will actually look into the older games.
Right.
And it would be cool if they did,
Well-
if people did. I'm not saying that, Persona 5 are bringing in people that don't do that, but I'm just saying it could happen the same way how P4 did and how, people only liked playing P4 and
Well,
that's it.
One
That
thing
one game.
that I really hate is how in North America Persona 5 dropped the Shin Megami Tensei title.
Yeah.
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 There's been discussion in a group about that, how, how SMT, the whole SMT branding on Persona is gone. People are saying,
Wait.
it's like, it's
What's it called? Was SMC on like the box in Europe,
Was it?
I
or is it
don't,
just North America?
I have no clue, but here's the thing, like, I think they've dropped it since P4G. So, is it P4G? I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was it Arena?
Arena. It was Arena.
It was Arena.
Well, I mean,
That-
Arena is a spin-off. Well, it's a spin-off of a spin-off, so I can kind of understand there. But Golden
Yeah.
didn't have it.
Yeah, Golden didn't have it, that's for sure, and Persona 5 doesn't have it as well. And what I feel like, I think I remember hearing Atlas went on record to say that they only dropped it because it's a mouthful to say SMT Persona 5 or Persona
Wow.
4.
At least
But
put
at the same
letters
time, I
SMT
call-
on there. There's
Yeah.
something. Put the logo on there. Or something.
I call bullshit because you have titles like SMT Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, and you have
Exactly.
SMT Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker.
And then you have
That's-
titles like
Or-
Tokyo Mirage Session, Sharp FE.
Yeah,
Or Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Rhino Kuzunoha versus Soul.
yeah, that's like a huge paragraph.
mega mouthful.
Not even paragraph, but it's like a mouthful, and I don't understand as to why they did this for Persona. Either way, people are thinking that, Persona is being its own thing. I was like, nah, it isn't.
Well,
Persona would have
Especially
been,
not with this one,
yeah.
where it feels very SMT
No,
esque.
it's not. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, SMT elitists are talking about how they're glad it dropped the title because Persona's not SMT. But I'm like, well, no, it's got the same. It's got the same attacks. It's got the same monsters. It's got the compendium. It's got the fusion. It's SMT.
It brought back guns. It brought back negotiation. Like this is very much SMT
Yeah.
game.
I mean, the same goes for Persona 3 and 4. It's like,
Yeah, 3
just
and 4 didn't
because
have
it doesn't have
negotiation, though.
alignments or it doesn't involve betraying your friends and
Hmm.
killing God, that doesn't mean it's not SMT.
Yeah. If anything, like, I know P5 kind of just borrows a little bit maturity from mainline, but it does stand out in its own way. And like I was saying before, if it weren't for mainline or if it weren't for SMTF, we wouldn't be here with Persona right now. And a lot of people tend to forget that the fact, if we go back and you see how Persona was created, it's something a lot of people should know. Persona fans and
It's part of the SMT series.
everybody. Yeah, it's part of the SMT
Without
series, whether you like
mainline,
it or
we
not.
would not get Persona.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there you have it. I mean, it's nice to see it's getting scores, but it really, I don't know where the fan base will go. It will either go downhill, uphill. I don't know. If you're following it,
Downhill.
downhill maybe. I don't know. I want to remain optimistic, like, but I don't know. Hill is probably the obvious answer.
It's the SMT base. It's downhill.
Persona 5 Crimson on Vita.
Maybe.
That's
Yeah.
where it's gonna go.
No, you're not gonna. Vita's dead, fam. The Vita's dead. You're not gonna get any games for
Maybe
that.
if we gotten
thing.
Persona 5 a little earlier, we might have
Then
gotten
probably.
it. Now I think the Vita is. I think the Vita's on its last limbs.
Yeah, completely dead.
I mean, to be fair, it's been on its last leg for the past 4 years.
Well, it's third-party developers that are keeping it alive, but they can only keep it alive for so long.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess that's pretty much it for the allocated trailer. It's
Yeah.
basically listing off the scores.
Also, the soundtrack for Persona 5 was just released on iTunes.
Yeah, it was like
How's it charting?
110 songs. I
It's a lot.
haven't checked it.
But
I
the
haven't
problem
checked it,
is
but-
most of the songs on there, they're like 45 seconds to a minute long. But they're still
Mhm.
$1.29. Like most songs are, 3 to 5 minutes and they're $1.29, but every soundtrack on that album is $1.29 and it's not long at all. And the full soundtrack is $30.
I just say when iTunes started selling songs for $1, I just dropped it entirely.
If
Yeah.
you
like-
really want
The value's just gone.
the OST, go to my favorite music provider, YouTube to MP3.
Wait, I tried using that, but it wouldn't let me download.
Yeah,
nothing.
but in all seriousness, I mean, I guess it's a great way to get your favorite tracks on, I don't know, whatever proprietary Apple device you may have. But at the same time, yeah, I do agree with John in a sense where it's like it's expensive. The fact that the length is not the best, like I can understand, like if they
Like the thing is,
released
for
it
past
uncompressed.
Persona OSTs, like the songs were at least a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, like if they released it uncompressed or like not the whole sound, because this soundtrack alone is pretty much every single track in the game. It could be like a small event that plays, like small background music that plays for like about 45 seconds in. I mean, that's not worth putting up on the app of the on the soundtrack. Like,
And may I also say that iTunes doesn't sell music uncompressed. It's not, you're not getting like a 320 kilobytes or log or whatever. It's
mhm.
Apple's proprietary like MP3
It's what is it?
Well-
M4V.
M4V. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Well, I mean, for that price, it's a little alarming. But like, I mean, if you're really diehard and you just want to get the selective tracks alone, there it is.
I would just handpick the long ones,
Yeah.
like the vocal ones. But speaking of expensive
And not
stuff,
the Mentos one.
speaking of expensive
Especially not
stuff,
the Mentos one.
you've also got the DLC costumes for Persona 5, which were just released in North America.
A lot of people buying up the DLC. I'm not buying it up for one reason, and I think
Because it's
you have the same
$7.99
reason as well, not for
in
buying
America.
it.
It's like $9
Too
something in
expensive.
Canada.
It is too expensive. Really, really expensive. Something
Yeah.
I would probably not touch
See, the
for a
thing
long
is,
Not
while.
at that price.
if Atlas would like bundle these in like a little package for like $15, I'd
Would've
do it.
A season pass?
Yeah.
No,
A season pass.
don't give them any ideas.
Please no. Like I mean, with how they did it with like Smash and Mario Kart, they had like a discounted package, like where
Oh,
you
yeah.
could get like two DLC packages for like what, $10 to $15. I forget how much.
No, with Mario Kart 8, it was like for
Yeah.
$8 you got a bunch of new carts, a bunch of new tracks, and some new characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you had like everything and like bundled in the pack. You had the ability to buy everything separate, or you had the ability to buy one in a one package.
Each DLC thing was
Yeah,
like
right.
$10 each, and if you bought both like at the same time, it was like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that Atlas could do the same thing with the Persona 5 DLC costumes and make it easier on us. Because like as it stands right now, you're paying like, if you're me, you're paying like $10 Canadian for one
Like the
piece of
costumes,
DLC.
like all the DLC costumes combined cost more than the game.
Yeah,
Make
and
costumes-
that's just alarming in a sense where it's like, yeah, you need to chill a little bit when it comes to this stuff. Like I get it, it's like just for cosmetic appeal, but at the same time, it doesn't really add anything to the game other than just that.
It's just fan service.
Yeah.
And it
I
doesn't
don't
need to
think
be
you
that
should pay
expensive.
premium for fan service though. Like it's just
Yep.
Like, I mean,
it's a small cosmetic alter in the game.
It's akin to
I
like
think
clothes
this stuff
armor.
should just be in the base
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Like, remember when this would have been in the base game?
Tales of
Yeah.
game.
Those are prime suspects of that.
That feeling when Abyss had like 40 costumes in the game with no DLC. But in like current Tales games, you get like 5,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you have to pay for everything else via DLC. And it's kind of bullshit.
It just kind of pisses me off that all these toxic DLC practices from Western developers is finally starting to catch on to Japanese developers.
Yeah,
Atlas of all
yeah. It's a little weird to see how Japan is taking part in this whole, I guess, gaming in business concept, where it seems okay to reserve a portion of a video game for pre-order content or DLC content where you have to get it at a certain time. And it's just so dumb because they're literally secluding something that should be with the game. And it's just just horrible in my opinion. Like I get it, they want to make money, but at the same time you don't make money by cutting content. That's not how it works. You're literally cheating your consumers that way in a sense.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
not many people see this because it's like they like turn a blind eye to it. Like, many diehard Persona fans don't really care about, how much they pay for the game or how much, because they know it's going to be good. They have this emotional attachment to it. That's why Atlas can be knocking at their door for money. It's like, give me your money. I know you're emotionally attached to this game. And it's a little sad to see that, how people don't really look farther than what the game really is, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something similar for like Persona 6, where they start like cutting half of the game for DLC. If God forbid they do that, but if they do that, it's gonna be really, really. It's gonna be a bad day for people in the SMT community or Persona community.
Pay $7 each to replace Persona 6's mascot character with Teddy or Morgana.
No.
Or some bullshit like that. I don't know.
Right.
Or DLC that allows you to actually do something at night and not
Oh.
let the cat.
I mean, the best way to tell Atlas that this is bullshit would be just to not buy it. But I mean, there are gonna be people that are gonna buy buy all the Persona 3 and 4 and Dancing All Night costume sets. Just like
And
Ant
now
said.
this into the gift sets.
I mean, I don't know how many people are gonna buy those. I'd definitely buy them if they were less expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I would totally give them my money. If they were a little bit cheaper, I'd say.
I
Like,
mean,
Realistically speaking, if we're gonna go by Mario Kart terms, these should be around like
But
$325.
they throw in some extra stuff.
Yeah,
Like
or throw in some extra stuff. Like I mentioned when we had the first recording, that they should put in some secret bosses
or
to make it worth your money.
like a bonus dungeon, like in the Persona
Yeah.
2, like for the Persona 2 costume set, they could also throw in a Persona 2 inspired dungeon, and maybe
Yeah,
have
something.
some Persona 2
Some
bosses
throwbacks.
and some downloadable Persona 2 personas too.
yeah.
I
Or
believe
they
they're
could
doing.
even throw in that P3 dungeon where it's just like different boss fights.
Yeah, I believe they're doing that with the personas as well. You know how you're getting the Nagi, Picaro, and all that stuff. You're gonna
Yeah.
probably get a variant Persona 2 and Persona 1 later down the line, because they've been leaked a while back in the Japanese version. So you'll get those DLCs later
Like,
on.
For the
Later
Persona
time.
3 dungeon, you could get like a Tartarus kind of room where you could just farm for experience if you wanted to, kind of like
Yes.
SMT4 had.
Like a texture swap version of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, that
Except
would be
maybe not
cool.
in the car.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess that's pretty much it for DLC. Not a fan of it, but it's whatever.
It's gaming
also-
in 2017.
Yeah, gaming 2017. So yeah,
How much do you feel like that's a Atlas decision versus a Sega one?
That's
now that
actually
you
a good
brought that
question.
up, it could
Yeah.
be a Sega decision, because ever since the acquisition happened with Atlas, they've been going downhill.
Well, I mean, SMT4 had similar DLC, and that was before Sega
But
bought
but
it.
here's the thing: SMT4 was okay. Like it wasn't like
as expensive.
it wasn't as
It was
expensive
like, what,
because it was
$3 for each one.
yeah, and the fact that I didn't end up buying all the DLC. Like I bought the quests and probably one cosmetic costume, and that's it. Like other than that, I haven't touched anything else from that, unless I wanted to blow more money. But the fact that I'm speaking in relation to Apocalypse, and Apocalypse is not DLC, but just the whole localization of Apocalypse was just a mess. And I feel like the whole, like when Taylor mentioned, oh, it could be a Sega decision, and I mean it could be true, because at the same time, like why else would Atlas be going downhill? The whole Apocalypse translation was an afterthought, and
And with
they-
TMS having like no English dub.
TMS, yeah, but at the same time, TMS was with Nintendo, and I felt like they could have
Yeah.
slightly delayed the game to
And
have it.
systems.
Yeah, intelligent systems slightly have it delayed, where you can have more, have it dubbed and all that stuff, and be perfectly polished.
I mean, the localization definitely took a long time for a game that wasn't even dubbed.
Yeah,
It took 6 months.
but like at the same time, I do believe if they had let it in a little bit more, they could have added in a dub, which would have been cool. Would probably get
it
more
would definitely
people
help
to
the
buy
game.
it. Yeah, it would probably get more people to buy it because at the same time, it wasn't like it was really weird to see a game with no dub on like sorry not no like no English dub
Especially a
on a
Nintendo
Wii
one.
U game on
Come
a
on, this is
Nintendo console.
2016.
Yeah. And then the fact that they had to write boldly on the cover wherever this game features only Japanese in-game audio or some bullshit like that. I felt like that was a huge turn off to a lot of people.
Wait, they wrote
People
that?
who are
My copy doesn't have that.
well, it's on. I think it's on the back of the cover. It's not like big on like but it's like
Oh.
on the back of the cover or some bullshit like that. I don't know. I remember seeing it somewhere. It was either in the trailer or it's probably on the box art. It's probably not on the box art, but I'm just saying the fact that they marketed using that, text blurb and saying, this game only, features Japanese audio it really is a turn off to some people.
I mean,
Like people who can tolerate it, that's fine. But like it's a turn off to people who are English speaking English speaking gamers that want to play a game, with not
they
in
want to
their
play the
own
game in their
language.
native language.
Exactly. Like I know people like that. I know my cousin. I know my cousin loves watching
Actually, if I
Yu-Gi-Oh
may.
in dubbed because that's how he grew up with it, right? And that's
Mm.
fine, right? People just prefer a certain language.
Like the people
That's
that
it.
the people that prefer playing games in Japanese are definitely in the minority.
Exactly. And
If
I
I may,
mean,
actually, the back
yeah,
of
go.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
not
go
as
ahead.
vocal as the
On-
people that do. They're not as vocal as the people that do prefer the Japanese audio, but like the majority of gamers don't want to play the game with the Japanese audio. They want to play it with English audio.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Taylor. You were gonna say something.
So like nowhere on TMS does it say that it's only in Japanese. So I imagine if someone like picked this up and had no idea, they would instantly, probably be turned off from playing it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like at the same time, where I didn't. It's not on the box art. Because I'm wrong about that. I saw it on when I booted up, and it was in the trailers.
Is
So
there
yeah,
the option to
scratch.
turn the
It's
voices
not
off?
on the box art, but I don't think so. Maybe
I
there
believe
is.
so,
I haven't
no.
checked in. But like, yeah, I remember seeing it somewhere. But yeah, obviously that's gonna turn a lot of people, in my opinion. uh, but yeah, the whole localization process, I feel like Taylor, you're probably right in a sense where Sega is the big man in the picture, saying, put this on the side, do this. Oh, but you have to do this, and all this bullshit. Oh, you want to localize one of our games? Go ahead. I think they were also in a process of localizing Yakuza as well. Atlas was not
Well,
them.
Yakuza didn't have a dub either.
Yeah, but I'm
Yakuza
just saying.
doesn't have
I'm just saying. But yeah, Yakuza is Japanese based, so it makes sense. Well, I mean, talking about our session is you.
I don't
But
know,
yeah, it's been that way for a while. Like with all the Yakuza games,
except
don't
for
They
think
one,
only
there's-
dubbed
but
one.
the dub of
Yeah,
one was kind of
yeah.
bad.
but I mean, most of the Yakuza games are like that, so it made sense. But like for this, for Tokyo Mario Sessions being a Nintendo game, you'd expect them to have a dub
Right,
because all the Fire Emblems did, right?
right. They did.
But yeah, just going back to like a Sega, I feel like they're influencing Atlas in the wrong way. I don't know if that's the case. If Atlas does have control, but at the same time, I can feel like Sega's laziness is actually rubbing sense.
All right, so I guess that's it
Um,
for our side topics.
Yeah. We do have a topic later on. On the next episode, tying into this subject with localization, we're
Yeah.
going to be talking about the localization of Persona 5.
Right.
That's our next topic. So, but the main topic today is impressions on P5. I guess whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
I'm about 30 hours in.
Same for me.
And you've already played it in Japanese.
Yeah, I've already played it in Japanese, but I can tell you so far.
Taylor,
Did
how
you
far
beat the
are you
game in Japanese?
Yeah, I beat the game in Japanese.
Okay.
How far are
Um,
you in Persona 5, Terrence?
Oh yeah, Terrence didn't play it. Terrence is the only one here that had Persona
No,
5.
but I know some stuff about
He's
Persona
been
5.
keeping up with it.
He's doing research.
I'm like 62 hours in. Just
Not bad.
finished Futaba's Palace.
All right. Well, whoever wants to go with their impressions, go ahead. Shoot. Pause and positive and negatives, pros and cons.
Well, I guess I'll go first because I'm probably going to have the most controversial opinions on P5.
Sure.
Because in the original recording, Ant asked me if I thought it was worth the wait, and my answer is no, not really. For a game that got delayed 2 years for quality assurance, I'm kind of disappointed with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, in a sense. While the hype has died down for me, I don't think it was worth the wait for quality assurance, in a sense. It really didn't add, to quality. Instead, it kind of downgraded
For
in
a
a
game
sense.
that supposedly took 5 years to develop, because what I read was that they got to work on Persona 5 as soon as they finished Catherine. But
Well, to be fair, they had to take a break on that because of Dancing All Night. And
they didn't develop
Dan-
Dancing All Night.
Wait, yeah. Yeah, that's a different team.
no, they had to redevelop. They had to
Yeah.
remake Dancing All Night because whatever company makes the Miku games that was working on it kind of dropped the ball on it.
Wait, so Team
Oh,
Persona
they-
had to make it?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Was it,
So that's
Dingo.
why P5 took so long to make.
It was Dingo, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, P5 was originally supposed to come out before
Yeah.
Dancing All Night.
Uh,
Well, I mean, not before
yeah.
Dancing All Night, but Dancing
wasn't it
All Night
winter
was delayed.
2014?
Yeah,
It was,
winter
winter
2014, but
2000
then Dancing All
yeah.
Night was delayed to 2015.
Hmm.
So,
Hashtag blame Dingo.
but anyway, just let me go into more detail about why I'm kind of disappointed with
Mhm.
Persona 5. But first, I'll get my positives out of the way. First positive thing I have to say is the game overall looks great. The graphics look great, especially for the PS3, which is what I'm playing on. The art is also pretty good, and the menu, oh my god, the menu. This is menu porn. The game, this game has a great menu. But
I beg to differ with the whole menu thing. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not a whole artsy fan. I feel like a plain. I don't know. I'm more of a plain guy. I I'm the type of guy who likes glazed donuts over sparkly chocolatey donuts. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a weird comparison, but what I meant to say is I felt like they could do better. The whole thing could have been okay with a plain menu style. But I get it. They're trying to go for the whole main aesthetic appeal. It's supposed to look like an artsy mess in a sense. So I get the reason why they went with that. But other than that, I'm not a fan of the menu myself. I feel like there's a lot of it just going on and whatever. But yeah, continue. Sorry
okay.
if I delved in there.
My next positive is the battle system. I mean, the battle system in this game is pretty good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's challenging, it's fast-paced. It's like the Persona 3 and 4 battle system. It's what the Persona 3 and 4 battle system should have been, to be honest.
Yeah,
So-
it looks really refined, and It's nice to just speed up the battles and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
turns
I
and
also
whatnot.
like
Which
the
is
I also
very
like the
good.
addition of psychic and nuclear elements in the game.
Mm-hmm. Gravity
Yes,
didn't
for
come
sure.
back though,
Oh.
which I thought Gravity did come back, and I was like,
Didn't. No, it didn't.
why didn't it come back?
Yeah,
Right?
I can live without it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gravity was in
P2. It was also in P1.
2 and 1.
But I don't know. P2, I felt like P2 had too many elements. Like,
Too many? Yeah.
like
I get what you
you
mean.
had fire, water, earth, ice, electricity, wind, force, almighty, nuclear, gravity. You had so many. It was
Yeah,
a
a
miss.
lot. I felt like they could be condensed down into like two or one element.
But in Persona 5, you have two physical elements. You have strike and gun, and then for magic you have fire. You have fire, ice, electricity, wind, nuclear, psychic, and light and dark, because now you can do damaging moves with those.
Yeah, kind of similar to how Apocalypse does with Hama and
Yeah.
Muto.
Oh yeah. That was good.
But so yeah, that's pretty good. My next positive is the music. I think this game has good music. Like, I mean, this is going to be kind of subjective, but I mean, I'm hearing a lot of other people say that the music is good in Persona 5.
It
Yeah,
is, but then you get things like the Mementos music, and that's
Really,
Yeah.
really
So
repetitive.
draining.
Yeah,
Last Surprise does get kind of repetitive, like after a while.
but I don't know what you can do.
And
It's,
the last thing is the dungeons. This game, like, good dungeons is something the Persona series really needed, and this game has great dungeons. Like, not just in design, but in terms of layout. Like, it's not, the dungeons aren't like shallow and boring like they were in Persona 4. Like, they're
Yeah.
really in depth, and there's a lot to interact with.
It's
Like, for instance,
Baby's
with,
first Metal Gear.
yeah. Like, for instance, with Futaba's dungeon that I just finished, like, it has some puzzle solving in it, and I feel like that's something we really needed in these games.
Yeah.
Like, just some diversity.
yeah, instead of like walking down an empty hall, or and like
Like
what you would do
occasional
in
enemy.
P4, or just
Or
climbing
P3,
up
where it's
Tartarus.
just a bunch of randomly
gave-
generated dungeons 100 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gave the dungeons a lot more life in a sense, right? You had something to do while you grinded, essentially.
Yeah.
So
But now on to my negatives. My first negative is the time management in this game. I mean, it's horrible. This game has terrible time management. Like, it barely gives you any freedom to do what you want in the overworld, basically.
yeah,
Like,
I get what you mean there. Like, there's a lot of events and social links I want to attend, but I
there's
gotta sleep.
there's some kind of event going on that's part of a story, so you can't do that.
Yeah, that too.
And
yeah,
it wouldn't be a big deal if the game wasn't so restrictive. Like, say you have to go to the dungeon the next day, you can't do anything at night because you have to go to sleep. And the day you do go to the dungeon, you also can't do anything because you have to go to sleep because you're tired. Apparently. I mean, I don't know if you're
Yeah.
actually tired, but Morgana says you are. Which is becoming a
Okay.
meme, by the way, where Morgana
Okay.
makes you go to bed. But, and on top of that, in order to rank up social links, you need to increase your stats a lot more, which, again, in this game isn't very easy because you don't really get time to do any of that. But what this game does do is it hands you a lot of your social links to you on a silver platter, and they rank up automatically. So you don't really have much control over which social links you get to level up. It doesn't feel like I actually get to do what I want with my time. It just feels like the game is progressing linearly, and it's like gives me some room to, like, some customization room, like to rank up which social links I want to, but it just doesn't feel like it's giving me as much freedom as P3 and 4 did, which is one thing I
Yeah.
really liked about those games.
Yeah. Which I can agree there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that to compensate for the whole tiredness and whatnot, they could just add in the whole fatigue thing, but make it only exclusive to the protagonist and not the party members, because I knew the whole fatigue system in P3, and I mean it's in P4 as well, but it happened mostly in P3 for me, is that your party members would get really tired and you couldn't bring them through the dungeon, or they might screw up in the dungeon if you brought them along with you or forced to bring them. So it was just tedious, but like if they did the same thing but made it exclusive to only the protagonist, you could probably just get like a small stat decrease in one of your dominant stats and going in the dungeon or whatnot,
Because like
right?
in Persona 3, if you were, say, tired after exploring Tartarus, it gave you the choice. You could stay up and study or go to Tartarus the next day, but if you did, it might make your condition worse. But you can go to bed early; it's guaranteed to make your condition better. Like,
And
it
there were
gives you
also
the
items
choice.
in Persona 3 that could alleviate fatigue.
Yeah, well, you could go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
stuff like
So-
that.
There's that.
But my next issue is just sort of little technical issues with the English version. Like, I've had things like characters will be speaking and then their dialogue will cut out close to the end, or like, just stuff like that. I mean, normally I don't sweat small issues like this, but again, if a game's localization gets delayed for quality assurance, I expect stuff like this to be ironed over.
Yeah.
But it's not just that;
Yeah.
it's just other things with the localization, like the character pronunciations. Like Anne's name, for example, they pronounce it on.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. I mean,
Yeah.
usually a lot of people just say "and."
I mean, that is how you would pronounce her
But
name, like with Japanese vowels. However, her name in the Japanese version was Ane because Anne's not Japanese, so that's kind of like the Japanized version of her name. However, for the English version, it's not in Japanese, so they just decided to stick with her English name, which would be pronounced Anne, but they pronounce it on for some reason. Like, they shouldn't pronounce it like that in the localization if they're going to keep her English name.
Mm. There's one thing I'd like to say when it comes to the whole pronunciation type of thing. The characters, the way they not really the pronunciation. Oh, God, I meant to say that when it comes to the dialogue and they're speaking, a certain voice clip will play. Like, it won't necessarily will not have anything to do with the situation, what's going on. It will just be a random clip,
Yeah.
right? Like a random generic clip during an event. It will probably just be something else.
Like when the characters say something in text, but it's not dubbed, but they just kind of say something.
Yeah.
Like I was playing the other day and I saw a movie with Ryuji, and he said something like that movie was fun to watch with you, but what he said in the voice was, "I'll pay for that."
Oh yeah, during the movie, which was weird.
On like the same kind of tangent, I felt like with P3P specifically, like the P4, it just had more voice acting overall, whereas this I feel like has significantly less, but has like more incidental things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was like a budget thing or
I mean,
is that how it is in the Japanese version, or?
I mean, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. Like, I really did the whole I've only did like the the movie things once or twice, but I probably like skipped over it.
Not movie things in general, but like
Where
just
they
the
would
game
say
as a whole.
something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, I haven't like encountered something in the Japanese when it came to it. Um, like, it could be totally wrong because if it does happen in a Japanese version, like the only way to test this if like you throw on the Japanese dual audio and you play it with the dual audio,
Mhm.
probably spot the similarities, or sorry, you can probably spot the mistakes or the hiccups, because then you'll know what actually played during that time rather than the dubbed clip. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
apparently I'm not the only person with this issue. Like, I saw one person on my Facebook wall, like, she said that she was going to switch to the Japanese audio because she couldn't stand the way that they pronounce the characters' names.
hmm I guess in a sense. I mean, the dub is not that bad to me. Like,
I don't think it's bad at all.
I don't
Except
think you
for
I
should
don't
really
think
the
it's
just
bad.
triggering.
It's
alienate
just,
the dub because of that.
it's not the dub, it's just the everything else about the localization. It's just kind of, it's
Yeah,
just
the
kind of whatever.
localization it's done wrong.
But
It's
like,
Atlas's fault.
like again, I'm not one to, I'm not normally one to bellyache about, you know, an average dub, but Atlas, the dub got delayed because Atlas wanted to put all the work they could into it. Like again, if that's the case, I'd expect a near perfect dub.
Yeah.
Which
But,
is fair, I guess.
yeah. But the next problem I have is the hand holding. Like, this game holds your hand for at least the first 12 hours of the game. I mean, and even in the second dungeon, it's still revealing new things to you, like new mechanics about the game, like the mementos and those diamond enemies that run around. But I mean, a lot of people complained about Persona 4 having a long intro, and this game, this game doesn't wait a really long time before handing you, like, before putting you in combat or handing you control. But again, up until about 12 hours in, a lot of it is scripted, and you got the tutorials. It's like, okay, I can figure out how to play the game. You don't need to explain everything with this much detail. I mean, when it introduces you to the Velvet Room, they actually force you to fuse a demon with the personas that you have.
I thought that was kind of dumb.
It
Yeah.
is really dumb.
Mhm.
Like, okay, I don't want to fuse the demon right now. I just want to keep what I have right now. But they made me fuse it. At first, I thought it was like some kind of demonstration, and that it would just take me back to having the personas that I had when I went in. But nope, it actually fused it. So, yeah, there's that. My next gripe is the navigation in the overworld. I mean, it's not very good. Like I like how you can bring up the menu and you can go to whatever location you want with just a click of a button. But if you're trying to find a specific location in the overworld, there's nothing to point you to where you're supposed to go. So most of the time, I'm just running around like checking everything I can to look for what I'm looking for until I find it. It's like SMT4.
hmm One thing I'd like to point out with the whole overworld thing, is that even though you have the fast traveling option, I really get lost in the subways and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's just horrible to navigate through those, and trying to find your way, and then you just suddenly realize you can just hit the bumper button to fast travel. And I mean, you shouldn't have to do that because everything should be, I guess, laid out for you in a sense where, here, I'm just going to go to point A to
Right.
point B.
It would at least help if it had like an arrow pointing you to the direction you're supposed to go, or a mini map or something. Like
Yeah, mini map would help out a lot.
like Apocalypse, I mean, it doesn't have a touchscreen, but you could have like a little mini map in the corner. Like Apocalypse had the mini map on the touchscreen, and it had a flag pointing you to where you're supposed to go. That definitely helped.
Mhm. Yeah. From all the complicated, map layout.
But yeah, those are really my only complaints. I mean, don't get the wrong idea. I still like Persona 5. I think it's a really good game, but I just expect a little more polish from a game that's delayed 2 years from its original release date.
Mhm.
For a game that came
Yeah.
out 8 years after the last entry in the series.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know what to say with Persona 5. I just like it's here, but
Yeah.
it should be here in like I
Like,
guess
it's rough around the
perfect
edges.
in one piece. Yeah, it's just it's like
It's no
a
Witcher
chi-
3.
it's a chipped diamond, let's just say that.
Yeah, and it's likely that it's going to be at least 8 years before we get Persona 6.
Let's just hope they don't screw up.
Let's hope
Um,
they perfect it with Persona
Yeah.
6.
Well, we have a Persona 6. It's in the form of TMS.
No.
TMS, more like KMS.
KMS.
More like
Same.
PMS.
Anyways, anybody got any impressions they'd like to share, Andreas Taylor?
Yes. I'm actually really glad that it kind of went back to its roots and brought back guns and negotiation and combat, which I felt was refreshing.
Oh yeah, that's something I definitely like. Although I think negotiation is a little too easy.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps, but I can appreciate it all the same because, like in Strange Journey, negotiation that was just horrid.
Oh yeah, it's like you make one wrong answer and the demon will try to kill you.
Yeah, and working on confidence in this, like eventually they get to a point where, like, if you fail a negotiation, like you get another chance, which I can also appreciate.
Yeah. Any like cons you found so far?
Do what?
Any like cons, like negative things you've seen so far?
Besides the whole Morgana forcing you to sleep thing, which has been triggering me to no end. Not necessarily. I don't know if the story kind of falls off a cliff after August, but if it doesn't, then I say it's pretty solid so
Well,
far.
according to Ant, it does.
Wait, what? According to
Did you say the story fell off a cliff at the end?
Yeah, I like I said, and this varies on gamer, on whatever like you perceive, but I feel like Persona 5 has a lot of its highs and lows. They'll
Mhm.
have like a nice build up, and then it will just like, not
Would you
going
say
into
it's as bad as the lack of payoff in P4?
not necessarily. Like what I've seen like from P4 is like pretty much through me. It's like I haven't completed that game, but like at the same time, I felt
The
like
too
they
long
could.
to read thing for P4 is that there's really no overarching antagonist. Whereas with like P3, like you get this build up and like it leads up to it. Whereas P4 just
Okay,
yeah,
okay, I get what you're saying with P3. Like I've seen
it's like if you had a
spoilers.
Final Fantasy VII with no Sephiroth.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I've seen spoilers for P3, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's not in the same vein as like P3, where you had
Mhm.
like the build up. Like
Yeah.
the build up just kept building up, but it was just a long ass build. Like I get what you mean for P3. But like for P5, it will have this build up and then just fall flat the next scene.
Damn it.
So it's like you'll have certain events. I'm not gonna say what, but you're gonna have certain events that do that, and it's like it's really bad in a sense where it's like you're really hyped, or you have like you have this feeling in you, like when you're looking at a scene, right? You're watching the scene, and then like fast forward to the next scene, it's kind of like all that your feeling that you were feeling how many minutes ago is just gone because of this. It's just completely destroyed, which I didn't like with P5. Came for the story. But yeah, not to disappoint you.
at the very
Like
end,
I
right?
said, it varies for a lot of people. Like, to be honest, it could probably only be for me. When you're playing through the game, you're probably not going to this. But that's what I thought in my opinion.
Well, actually, one thing I'd like to add about the story is I really hate how it'll constantly interrupt the story to take you to the interrogation room to remind you that the game is being told through a flashback.
Oh yeah.
I actually like that because
I don't. For me, it kills the immersion. Like, I mean, it works for some games, but not Persona, in my opinion.
It works on some parts, but I hate when you start a
Like,
social
you
link.
start a social link, then it goes to the interrogation room, and she's like, "You had this person accomplice you."
Yeah, and considering there's like 41 social links, I think
Wait,
that
what?
that could be kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, the game, like the game just gives you a lot of them from the start. You don't actually have, like, you don't actually have to get them yourself. Like, there's not that many social links you can get yourself, which goes back to what I was saying earlier.
But they
yeah,
like
I get what you're saying.
there are. You can miss out on a lot of confidants in P5, like the fortune telling chick.
Right.
yeah.
I gave 100,000 yen to and kind of regret.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's like it's easy to miss social links and it's hard to rank them up because again the game doesn't really give you a lot of room to do that. It doesn't give you a lot of freedom. But you keep going.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Andreas?
I'm kind of last because I don't really have that much to say because I'm pretty sure, even though I thought that some of John's complaints was kind of nitpicky during the end, most of the complaints that I have does reflect his, but I still will say that P5 is still like the game of the year contender for me. But I only buy like 2 games a year, so
Oh.
that doesn't say much.
Well, I mean they are kind of nitpicky, but I mean, I sound like a broken record, but when a game gets delayed this long, I expect most of, if not all, the flaws to be ironed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Like, maybe I'm just salty about the delays, but I mean, I've been anticipating this game for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people who feel the same way at the same time.
I'm not going to act like the game's perfect when it's not.
No, it's not.
Like, I'm not, thing is, like, I'm not really seeing a lot of people being that critical of the game. Like, in fact, I've seen a lot of people get triggered when other people, in the rare instances that other people are critical. Like, I mean, and
At
you
least
saw it too.
you're not Jem Sterling.
Yeah.
Well, well, I mean, are you talking about like when he got DDoSed?
Yeah. He got DDoSed over a 7 out of 10.
And for Zelda, yeah, that's
Wait.
stupid.
Oh, we were talking about Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he wrote a review for Breath of the Wild where he gave the game a 7 out of 10 and
That's
got
crazy.
DDoSed for it.
It's
Yeah, that's
yeah.
We're reaching like the end of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can briefly say about what I think, but yeah,
What we could do is like just like put in like a sentence summary about how we think about P5 and if it's actually in the future of like P6 and how it could go from here.
well,
Right.
the main problem, the what I find with P5, most of its problems are on Atlas and its localization. Uh, that's not the case as well. It goes also back to Atlas Japan, where I have this. I think this the gripe with the story and the fact that when I look at the story, it's something. This is the 20th anniversary title of Persona 5.
Of Persona
They've
series.
sorry,
Yeah.
Persona series. That's what I meant to say. Sorry about that. Um, that they've missed a lot of opportunities here.
To reference stuff like Philemon or
Yeah,
Gnarly.
Have
exactly.
some more
Like all
cameos.
yeah, cameos.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
Tanaka,
that's
like the Tanaka character, he appears in it.
yeah, I
Persona
know.
3.
He appears there, but like
See, the thing is, and then at the end of Arena, they like kind of alluded to P1, 2, and 3 and 4 characters all kind of teaming up to do something. Whatever happened to that?
Well, I didn't finish Arena, so
it's isn't Arena not canon though?
Is
it
Or
it
is it?
is. It's
Oh,
just
sorry,
bullshit.
it is. It's
It's a fanfic.
okay. Yeah, never mind. That's the reason why I thought it wasn't canon because I thought. Regardless, what I think the main issue is here, in my opinion, like they've missed a lot of opportunities with the DLC and with the in-game content itself. This is like the 20th anniversary title, and they could put in a lot of things to make the first two games a little bit relevant and throw mainline a bone in a sense where it has some relevancy and
I have
Persona
a question.
universe. Yeah,
So there's like a through line from P1 to P4. Is that present at all near the end of P5?
not necessarily from what I've played in the Japanese version. Um, I know they mention characters like Katsuya from P2,
Mhm.
and they mention Yukari from P3.
There's also like a poster with Rise
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
girl from Dancing All
And,
Night.
and then yeah, this is
You can
tying
find in the subway
into
station.
this is tying into one of my problems as to why the game has this huge attachment to P4 in a sense, and I'm like, just let go of it already. P4 is like done.
It's
Like,
dead.
if you're gonna
It's
throw in
dead.
P4 references, balance it out with the other Persona games.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's more P3, P4 references than there are for P2 and P1. Like
Well,
I
I
haven't
mean,
seen
to me,
anything P1 related so far. I might have
just
to.
P4, really.
Yeah, yes, people have seen P4, and of course, only P3 reference is just Yukari being on it. And that's it. And yeah, Katsuya was the same way as well. As they were talking about Katsuya being a detective on when I was playing the Japanese one.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's like they've missed a lot of opportunities there where they could have made a lot of the both P1 P2 relevant
Like
and
make some more character cameos.
exactly, and then promote mainline in a sense where like how they had the secret boss for at the end of Digital Devil Saga for Demi Fiend.
Yeah.
They could have done something similar in Persona 5 just to show off the fact that hey, it's mostly to show off what the classic PS2 titles because they're all 3D based. They could have just thrown in a nostalgic boss fight, kind of like how they had kind of like how they had Slime Mara. So
Hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
mean they could have threw some things like that. Like I said, missed a lot of opportunities. Yeah, what were you saying, Andreas?
Since P5 already does have the samurai coats, it would be pretty lit to like fight Flynn at like end game.
Yeah, it
Or
would be
Nanashi.
nice. Yeah, or Nanashi. It would have been nice to see that where they
Hell,
could
maybe a
just
fight with
promote
Steven.
Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Steven, that would have been cool. Like,
Yeah.
just going into a different timeline and you're just finding Steven would have been cool.
Like,
Or
Or like you
actually
can put him
fight.
in Mementos or something.
like you have a fight with a devil summoner, and he says, it says something like, "Wait, you can only use one demon at a time," or something like that. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
remember that theater mission from Persona 2 where you fought against Wayland, and he was the demon
Yeah.
summoner? Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Man, it's like, I don't know. They could have just done a lot more with this title, like from what it is really. Like, so many opportunities that they could have taken, but hey, you can't do anything now. The game is all released, and
Just hope that Persona 6 does it.
Yeah.
yeah,
Now that
do you think
Persona
the,
5's out, it's like the new era for Atlas to actually do something that's like not Persona 5.
yeah. Like they have assets from TMS and this game as well. What they're pretty much good for mainline.
Yeah. Like, now that we've
now
got...
my question is,
Yeah.
do you think you're gonna do something like that for the Switch game they're working on?
Well, it was confirmed during the that revealed that the models that were used in there were from P5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like-
do you think
Okay.
because it'll be like the 30th anniversary of SMT that it'll be more of a callback to perhaps SMT1? And
Well, not SMT, more like Megami
Megami
Tensei.
Tensei.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, like, it's good that now we have an engine with like demon models on a home console, like on a new home
Yes.
console.
Yeah, which is good.
that are not from Nocturne.
Yeah, I mean, Persona 3 and 4 ran on the Nocturne engine, and so they
Yeah.
all used assets from that. They all used demon models from that game. But now we've like got some now we've got some much better looking demon models.
And before they use TMS and P5 assets for the next 10 years.
It's probably what they're
Uh,
gonna do, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, no, because well, of course,
Well, I mean, it does
from
kind of suck because it
Atlas.
runs on PS3 hardware, but I mean, it still looks good nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like Persona 5 runs on
Yeah.
the Catherine engine.
Mm. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't have to like my pros are pretty much similar to John's and negatives, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I still hate the UI for battles. It's
Same.
atrocious.
Same, but it's whatever. It's
Yeah,
there.
I don't like the battle wheel. The only thing I like about the battle wheel is all the memes that it's generated.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that too. The Force meme. Everybody knows about that one. That was started by 4chan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 One other good thing about Persona 5 is the Persona summoning animations don't take like a
Yeah.
fortnight to do.
Yeah, the animations are pretty quick and smooth.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
I'd give it that.
Yeah, that is my main gripe with Stream 4 that the animations like take long and look so repetitive to look at. Like, it looks cool the first few times you see him, but after a while, it just gets irritating to look at.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So besides Persona 5, what have you guys been playing?
well, besides Persona 5, it's been off and on. Like, I've been trying to find games. Like, at first I was playing Strange Journey. Next, I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, and then I just played Majin Tensei today for a little bit. And I don't know, it's just really off and on in a sense. I'm a little exhausted, but I'm trying to find that game to just keep me hooked. So that's me.
Ronde.
Well, hopefully,
Ronda, yeah.
I'll play Rond again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've started a game called Mitsurugi Kamui Hikei for limited run games. It's pretty lit, not gonna lie.
How far are you on that rock, paper, scissors game?
Beat it?
Oh,
I'm
Yeah, I
not
know what
playing
you mean.
anything besides Persona 5.
I'm playing Soul Hacker currently right now. I'm currently at Kane Mall. And the other thing I've been playing or replaying is the PS1 Mega Man X games.
Terrence, you should play Witcher 3.
Fuck off.
well, I
Yeah.
guess that's it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but I think we're done.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Right?
Yeah, actually, before we go out, I just wanna thank all you guys for all the feedback we're getting. Like over these last few weeks, we've been getting more feedback on the episodes than we ever have. I just want to thank you guys for all the feedback you're giving us.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Heretic Mansion's almost gonna hit 300 subs, which is great. So thanks for supporting John and the channel. Hopefully, we'll have more episodes frequently now.
And
since we
also,
have more
I'm
to talk
going
about.
to be getting a capture card soon, so expect to see more like non-podcast videos on the channel.
Post 77p5 content.
Maybe.
Post 77p5 content. Oh boy.
Although I don't want to get
Well, rip
zucked
your
by
trail.
Atlas Tube.
Like on the
You're not
subject
going
of
to.
7/7, like that just feels like a completely arbitrary date. Like, nothing really happens on 7/7.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's whatever. Atlas. I just don't understand their practice when it comes to this stuff, but it's whatever.
I feel like it's more of a Sega thing
Could be. But I mean,
because they did the same thing for the new Tetris game.
don't want to be spoiling the story for Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Hey, you better not.
Rip. Puyo Puyo Tetris, but the definitive version is going to be on the Switch.
Yay!
Yay!
I mean,
That console that we don't have.
I mean, I
I
find it,
do.
I
You
find
guys
it-
know.
Yeah, no one cares though.
Same.
I mean,
I elected to buy Neo Geo instead.
same. But as I was gonna
Taylor's
say,
making the right
I find
decision.
I find it kind of ironic how, like, apparently the reason Atlas put that sort of block up was so that people wouldn't spoil the game. So to counter that, people are just posting spoilers all over the internet, and everyone's getting super triggered.
I don't like how, even though they said it, you can easily look up the final boss on YouTube.
Exactly. I mean, if spoilers was the reason, I think they should have released the game in English at the same time in Japan, like they said they would, but didn't.
But
Yeah.
dual audio.
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess that's everything.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.
See you.